And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
It was the weekend of death and near death. Let's see, we had 4 celebrity deaths, a shooting, the shooter is dead. Unfortunately,
5 deaths.
Actually, 5.
6 if we... 6.
Kobe Jones.
If we include the shooter.
Well, I was including the guy in the
fireman.
crowd. I was including 5 as the shooter and Fireman Ted as number 6.
And what else you got?
Jacoby Jones. He died.
Oh yeah, shit, boy, yeah. They're just like Herm says in the title. They're dropping like flies. So I'm not going to go through the big harangue. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Chris Burns here, along with the Possum King himself,
Chris Lynch,
and of course the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair. He is Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
What is up
over there?
Oh yeah, we could add that to it. The producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair, the dude who's up there.
That dude right there, heard.
With no underwear.
No underwear.
No, I could start this sentence and Herm would be able to finish it if I said 50 grand in the hand with a tan.
There's a bunch of ways. With a tan.
From Sudan.
You're the man from Sudan.
Macho Man. Anyway, before we get to the super huge meat and potatoes, let's talk about some of these celebrities.
Lots of meat, not a lot of potatoes.
I was going to say the other way. There's a lot of potatoes, not a lot of meat.
I meant dead bodies or meat.
Same. Let's start with Shelley Duvall. She passed away this past weekend.
She'd been, unfortunately, out there.
Yeah, she'd been a hurting unit for quite a while, like mentally. Now, wasn't it one of you that said she had been living in her car for some time?
Yeah, she had lived in her car for a while. Yes.
Lynch, are you gonna die?
Please don't die.
Please don't die.
Yeah, like she had been living in her car. She was broke as fuck. Yeah, like completely just mental illness is a hell of a fucking thing.
Yeah,
she walked away from Hollywood back in the 2010s, and just
like completely, like she had kind of pulled herself out 10 years sooner, but she completely wrote off Hollywood and like they were the devil, and she basically shunned them rather than just not taking part. But
yeah, I remember her being, not that I watch the show a lot, but when you see Shelley Duvall, an actress that I really liked growing up, because she was quirky, she never played a really bad role. I watched her on Dr. Phil talking about her mental illness, and it was crazy. And then wasn't it
like, my God, she is there? It's like they're recording the crazy on the show.
Yeah, and then I think it was Mia Farrow that came out publicly and said, "How are you going to exploit this woman while she's going through this?" And I didn't see it that way, but you know what? It is what it is.
But yeah, she definitely she had some sickness going on.
Yep. And she moved to Texas, wasn't it?
Yes,
I believe so. Her and her boyfriend.
I was going to say she was living in like a mobile home. Excuse me. Yeah, like pretty sure she was living in a mobile home.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, did they ever come out and actually say what her mental illness was?
I think she suffered from a couple, I think she was bipolar. Was it had bit of multiple personality disorder? Maybe, I don't know.
A little disassociative.
Yeah. It's a very sad story because she's a part of all of our childhoods.
Oh yeah,
honestly, The Shining, Popeye.
Yeah, I mean, when she was young, I thought she was kind of cute.
Very cute.
She
she was skinny as fuck like my mom, but she, you know, that was like always her thing. Like she was skinny as fuck.
Yeah, she had a weird cuteness to her.
You know what I mean?
When she first came out in Nashville, the Robert Altman movie Nashville, she was beautiful. She had a very beautiful.
And then that, and you've seen pictures when she was doing The Shining, not of her in the movie, but while she's on set, and like other, you know, and she's facially she's kind of cute. She was relatively attractive, and then she was just thin. That's the whole reason she did Olive Oil. She actually lost a shitload of weight for that role to do it. But yeah, like that's it. She was cute and thin, and she had a couple of good roles. But yeah, mental illness just kind of took her away from everybody, and then kind of took her away from herself.
Yeah.
Right. Always sad when you see that happen to an icon, like something that you grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was kind of quiet. It's not like Nick Nolte that did it out in you know, in the middle of a fucking stadium and sold tickets. And you were just like, this can't get any worse. Oh, but wait, and Billy Mays comes out. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
You know, she was kind of private, and that's it. Very recluse. Very.
I mean, the thing about Shelley Duvall and even some of the other people on this list, with the exception of Dr. Ruth, which we'll talk about, you know, none of us know these people personally. They've touched our lives in one way or another with their art.
I was going to say we know them through their work, their body of work.
You know, I'll say this about Shelley Duvall. It's sad that she's gone, but she gave us the body of work and then she stopped. So you have what you have. It's, you know, and I equate stuff like this to like Eddie Van Halen, who every day, and Lynch will tell you this, we both read the same book. Every day Eddie would get up and record something. Every day of his life, he's got an entire wing of a house with recordings. The man never stopped, and now the art stopped.
Even if it was selections of riffs that he'd been working on, he laid down a track of some sort almost pretty much every day.
Yeah, and then he would put drum machine to it, and Al would come over, and they'd work on it. And then the kid, when he was with them playing, and he's probably Eddie Van Halen and Prince probably have more unreleased material that will never see the light of day than any other artist in history.
Oh yeah.
But those are the kind of things, and again, I gotta say, it's sad about Shelley Duvall, but she gave you the art she gave you, and then she quit. She wanted her life, and unfortunately, her life was ruined by mental illness, and it's kind of sad.
10-4 on the sad.
What?
I said 10-4 on the sad.
Lynch, you're the movie buff. What was your favorite Shelley Duvall role?
She was fantastic in Nashville, and I really liked her in Roxanne.
Yeah.
She was probably
as the friend.
Yeah.
She was great in Roxanne as the friend. She gave totally wrong fucking answers and advice. It was beautiful. It was great. Her with Steve Martin was an amazing movie to do. I personally, because it's basically it's Cyrano.
That's what I was going to ask. Wasn't it based on Cyrano de Bergerac?
Yeah, Cyrano. Yeah. So it's one of my favorite Shakespeare things. So yeah, it was Cyrano, and it was Steve Martin, who was funny as fuck at the time, adding an edge to Cyrano that we had never seen before. And I gotta be honest, it's a personal favorite of mine. Loved it. The dumb fucking what's his name? The dumb fucking
fireman.
The fireman that they had, the guy that had to play the role was perfect for the role. He was so dumb. Like they even say it in the movie, like he's so dumb, but he's so pretty to look at.
That's probably my favorite Steve Martin film.
Yeah, I mean, of that late stuff, it's The Jerk.
My Blue Heaven. of the late stuff, my Blue Heaven.
Hey, yo, you should not be here because you
I
could melt all this stuff.
like Roxanne. That's my personal choice.
I like.
So who else?
I like the jerk.
Who else kicked the bucket?
Well, in order, I didn't put these in any particular order or in the order the way they passed, but I'm going to go with Richard Simmons,
Whoa,
the fitness guru of our childhood, passed away at the age of 76 in Los Angeles,
every
California.
Gen X female's first gay male friend.
Yeah, and look, I've been reading a lot about him in the last couple days.
Bitches love his ass, and I still don't know fucking why.
We all speculated for years that he was gay. He never ever came out and said it.
Ever, but no, we never quit. But we also never gave him any shit about it. But we all knew.
Did you see the interview? Did you see the interview with Jane Fonda after he died?
Heard Weight Watchers Liberace.
Oh, the sparkly outfits, the Larry Bird shorts.
No, somebody bedazzled his codpiece.
Yeah. You know what he used in later years? Again, I've been doing a lot
while he was wearing it.
That's what I'm saying.
Swarovski crystal.
Yeah.
While he was wearing it.
Yeah. Clear.
Like just like we all knew. Nobody,
Right. But he never, if you didn't see the interview with Jane Fonda, and I'm not usually one to watch anything with Jane Fonda, she did an interview and said that she had lunch with Richard Simmons I say a couple, it's probably 9 months ago, according to her. And he was with his boyfriend. Yeah. And she said that, the relationship was new, but he was happy and they were both smiling and everything was great. And hey, you live your life the way you want to live. No one ever gave Richard Simmons an ounce of shit. If we gave him an ounce of shit, it's because the Sweating with the Oldies commercials came on every 35 seconds in the 90s.
Deal a meal. The fucking Deal a Meal commercial.
Oh my God. This nigga said Deal a Meal.
For anybody under the age of 40 who doesn't know what Deal a Meal is, Richard Simmons invented this dieting.
You just do the math at the beginning and figure out how many cards you get, and then every day as you eat, you move your cards over, and when you're out of cards, you're done eating. And now you can eat all the chips.
Right. So it's kind of like Weight Watchers, but the commercials were 25 minutes long and so fucking obnoxious.
Yo, they were like some of the first
every night
commercials. It was him. It was Ron Popeil.
Ron Popeil.
God bless Ron Popeil. But it was the
pocket fisherman.
Between Sweating to the Oldies and fucking Deal a Meal.
You forgot one important one, and this guy died several years ago. Make More Money Now with Don Lapre.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I just read a very interesting article about Don Lapre and saw a YouTube video about that whole scandal.
Oh yeah,
90s and 2000s.
Oh yeah, he got fucked sideways, but he'd been fucking everybody else.
What a fucking scumbag.
I know.
But back to Richard Simmons, he was pulling Oprah when Oprah was still cashing a check signed by somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those characters back then that would make Oprah because he would do their shows. He would do the circuit every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And
then he had his own show. He had his own show in the 80s.
He had his own show for a while. It didn't do great, but
but you got to think of it too. He impacted our
great nowadays. He would have done if this was all available social media for him. Taylor Swift would have to bow to the Queen, Richard Simmons.
Oh yeah, he'd live in a gold-plated mansion.
Oh my God, he would make Liberace look like a peasant.
His mailbox would be bedazzled in Swarovski crystal.
Saying. Like the mail would come bedazzled. That's how, like the U.S. government, we got to decorate this shit. It's Richard.
He was on one of those daytime shows, and the only reason I remember this is because I was sick and I was at home, and you had your blanket, your chicken soup, your crackers, and Price is Right, and then would come on like Merv Griffin or some bullshit like that.
In the afternoon.
And Richard Simmons was on, and Eddie Murphy had just parodied Richard Simmons on Saturday Night Live. And they asked him, I want to say it was Merv Griffin. Says, doesn't that bother you? He made you out to look foolish. And Richard Simmons says, anytime that someone on a show like that, they put you in the spotlight, there's nothing to be upset about.
They just made me, Richard got it. They just made me relevant, regardless whether I was or not. They reminded everybody I'm relevant. It's
the fat kid, the fat kid. Yeah,
it doesn't matter if they're talking good or bad, as long as
your name
talking fucking mouth.
Spell my name right in the blurb in the paper. Right. The fat kid on SNL.
When you shit on me, spell my name correctly, bitch.
The fat kid on SNL who started to do the Big Papi impression.
Yeah,
Big and he was afraid that Ortiz was going to chase him down and shove a bat up his ass.
This is so fucking funny. I love this shit. This is fucking beautiful. I watch that shit all the time. It's the best thing Big Papi ever watched. Yeah, yo, to the guy who did the video, that's some good shit. It just
But everybody had. Go ahead.
Between he and Jane Fonda, he impacted the entire generation, as far as our entire generation and my parents' generation, as far as exercise, how to eat right.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to say
workout fashion.
We weren't allowed to say Jane Fonda's name in our house.
I can certainly understand why.
He did not exist.
Nah, but
if you saw a movie with her,
I'm not denying it, and I couldn't stop shit coming on TV. As long as it wasn't in front of Dad, he would just turn shit off.
If you see a movie that has her in it, use her character's name.
Like you're not, like
who's in that movie? Wanda.
That's like who plays that? Some lady. Yeah, in my house, James
you wouldn't know her.
4-letter fucking word, and
he goes to another school.
You don't know him, George Glass.
Glass.
Lord help if I'd ever had a friend or known somebody in my class with the same name, like the way John Smith would be. It'd have been horrible. It was bad. Jane Fonda was not allowed to be spoken in my house.
I can understand why.
I had to watch all those movies other places.
And I think
my dad caught my mom watching fucking 9 to 5 once.
That's all it took.
I think it was skin cancer that got Richard.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
about a year ago he announced that, and
there was some real controversy surrounding him because, again, like Shelley Duvall, he decided, you know what, I'm done with public life. I'm just going to live my life the way I'd like to.
He wasn't being on public-y. Now he was still. He still was talking to fans, calling them, sending text messages to thousands of people all over the place. He just kind of pulled back from being out in the limelight outside.
Right. And he was the guy that I remember in the 90s.
We all do. We all just basically don't want to fucking deal with people, and we just want to sit in our own castle.
Yeah. And he was DDP before DDP was even thought about, because Richard Simmons was doing those 30-minute infomercials and saying, here's Heather, and she's from Oklahoma, and she used to weigh 400 pounds. Look at her now. She's so beautiful. And and he would help them so much, not just with the program. And they would write to him, thank you for the program, this and this. He'd fly them out. He'd do the spiel with them, live testimonial right here. And then hand them a bunch of cash and a bunch of gifts and stuff and send them home happy. He bought one of the girls a house.
Okay, he was all right. I have a fucked up Richard Simmons story.
He bought you gifts? What did you do to earn those gifts?
No, listen.
Okay.
My sister went to the mall back in the late 80s, say 89, 90. And Simmons was there at the mall doing one of his doing a mall tour, and my sister had jeans that were all holied up, and back then it was the whole hobby spot thing and ripped up, and and he pulled her out of the crowd and commented for several minutes, and they did banter back and forth about her pants and some stuff, and then he gave her a disgusting amount of money in cash to go get herself some new pants.
That's fucking awesome.
He called her up on stage and did the thing, and
Jennifer, honey, what are you doing?
And she was like, and he did a little bit, and then he gave her like a bunch of money to go buy a bunch of brand new pants. Like she
Damn.
didn't need them. That was just the style, but he
Right.
just handed her a shitload of cash.
Jennifer,
She-
honey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You can. These pants are ripped, sweetie. You got to go get new ones. It's
Yes,
on me. Don't
yes,
worry about it.
Yes, it was all that, and but yeah, like so my mom came home and like he gave her a fucking wad of cash.
That's awesome.
Shit never happened to me.
That's
No,
that's my 2 steps of separation
Yeah,
to Richard Simmons. Like
Wow. You can't even get to Kevin Bacon that quick.
no, like
I think I saw him in New York City once,
He had,
many years ago.
when they did the grand opening for the
well, I figure
casino,
your
he was
degrees of
there.
Separation
Mhm.
are it goes from you to Kevin Smith and then to Kevin Bacon. I figure that's your degrees of separation.
That's I'm one. I'm one degree.
You're 2. It goes from you
Oh
to
yeah,
Kevin,
yeah.
and from
Yeah,
Kevin to Bacon.
Right.
Same as
Yeah.
Richard. It goes from me to my sister and my sister to Richard Simmons. That's how close
Yeah.
those people
Yeah.
come in and out. But yeah, like you know what I mean? That's there it is.
When we were in rehab, we had to do this 2 truths and a lie, and that was my truth out of 2 truths, 2 lies and a truth, or whatever it was.
Yeah, like
And they
I
were like,
technically
tell us
could
a story.
I could get a hold of Kevin Bacon technically if I texted Kevin Smith and said, I need to get a hold of Kevin Bacon right now. It's really fucking important. Technically, it might take a bit, but I was like, no, that's Lynch's circle. It goes from Lynch to Kevin Smith to Kevin Bacon because I know those 2 run in the same circles at places. That's
Yeah.
So, and the same can be said for I'm that far away from Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Jason Mewes,
right.
anybody who's
right.
ever worked with,
It's 2
Bruce
steps.
Willis.
Right. I know a guy that knows that knows the guy that.
Yeah,
I sort of,
Yeah,
I
no,
sort
I
of,
really
sort of
like-
feel lame. I
I
really,
really
do
like
because
Richard Simmons. I really like Richard Simmons because for as flamboyant and just living out loud as he was, that was the real him. And he lived unapologetically.
My wife said it. He was a soft soul.
yeah,
Probably one of the most caring celebrities ever. Like Chris Burns said, that you
Well,
You
he was
hit
the
it right
first
on the
person
head.
that didn't fat
He was
shame
just so
anybody
caring.
when they were trying to lose weight.
right.
That was actually more
I mean-
supportive than fix your fat ass.
I mean,
We're gonna
when
fix
the
your
700
fat ass, honey. We're gonna fix. He was more. We're gonna fix our fat ass, honey, and we're gonna do it together.
yeah. He
But
wasn't
when
a
he
drill
was-
sergeant. He cared.
No,
when
right.
the 700 pounders mailed him, he went and visited the 700 pounders.
Yeah,
and put them
Well,
and pushed them on the path.
when you watched after a while, because we saw it incessantly, when you watched the 20-minute infomercial for Sweating to the Oldies, after a while we knew who these people were just through their fucking commercial.
yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
you knew who that was the way he intended the commercials to be.
Well, they ran so
these are
often.
real
By the
fucking
time
people.
they ran so often that you could watch it on Thursday, July 1st, and by the end of the month, you're like, "Oh, look, there's Audrey." And
Right?
somebody looks at you like, "Who the fuck is Audrey?" Oh, she was a
That's-
700-pound bitch. Now look at her.
Look at her. She's 300 pounds now. She's like half the size.
Now she's got an OnlyFans.
Right, 'cause- right. You know what I mean? Like they would stay through the videos. So next thing you know, you've got, yeah. So you'd actually watch them progress.
But I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that DDP probably stole his gimmick from Richard Simmons. Not to say that DDP isn't a caring human being. I've seen some of the success stories that he's gone through and how
it's a great template.
yeah,
He is his own best success story from what he went to what he became.
Dude,
Yeah.
Before he started doing
It's
he
a
was
great idea, and literally,
holy
look,
shit.
the same way that James and Jimmy basically use one of our concept ideas. All right. I consider that I am not angry any one bit. That's literally like that is it is the highest form of flattery. For us, we're nobody. When somebody who has a nationally based podcast says, "Yo, you guys had a really fucking awesome idea, and we're gonna run with it," okay.
But their umbrella is so big. We were doing it on one subject.
Right. We're doing it on one subject. They took the idea and went, "What if we just did it with every fucking thing? Worst car washes in the country today," and that so. But literally, they took our idea and was like, "That's good shit. We're gonna use that and play with it." That's to me the highest form of flattery. We know every time they do that show that it was us doing that created that.
Yeah, if anything, if we can inspire people to get the, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll try a podcast, or maybe I'll try this one time, or maybe I'll consider this. Hey, man, if we touch you in any way, that's a good impression to leave,
and not in a Catholic priest kind of way.
No, not that kind of touchy way. I only do that on Thursdays.
Wow. Speaking of touchy, we also lost Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
All right.
Ruth Westheimer.
You call what?
Party foul on Dr. Ruth. That was a sham. I'm just sorry.
What was a sham?
Dr. Ruth.
Well, yeah.
She's out here telling everybody how to have oral sex and how to do it right. And God damn it, she didn't even eat pork. Like, you don't eat pork. How the fuck, who the fuck are you to give any opinion on how anything should be eaten if you don't eat pork? I'm just saying.
She liked the all beef hot dogs.
Apparently.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Enjoy the veal.
This is Dr. Ruth West.
I always found it weird in the 80s when she came onto our purview.
Why is my grandmother telling me how to eat snatch?
What did she okay, now I'm going to go look back because this was a point I wanted to make in regard to Dr. Ruth.
Wasn't she a German spy during World War II?
I don't know about that. You might want to look that up. You use your Google machine. I'll use mine.
She was great. I know she was great for the sexual revolution for women, to the extent of they deserve to come to. I get that. But,
okay, here's what bothered me, and Herm hit it right on the head, and then Sam Kinison beat that nail into the board with a fury. She was 60 when she came into our purview in the 80s, whether it be on Joan Rivers or any one of the talk shows. She was always on Johnny Carson. Does anybody
it's all dried up.
Close your eyes real quick and picture your grandmother talking to you about oral sex. You see how Herm just the full body shiver. Yeah, that's what Dr. Ruth was. If ever I sat in my grandmother's kitchen and heard her say, Chris, I know you got that girlfriend back home. Did you lick her box?
But wait, Dr. Ruth, Dr. Ruth,
if he was talking to Grandpa and he'd had a couple of drinks, he'd be more like that video Duke posted to me. Grandmother was young. She had some great mouth skills.
So Dr. Westheimer,
that's me. Westheimer, the grandchildren. Your grandmother used to ride a pole.
Let him finish his point.
Go ahead.
Westheimer was born in Germany to a Jewish family, and as Nazis came to power, her parents sent her to an all-girls school in Switzerland. Blah blah blah. Both of her parents were killed in concentration camps. She moved to British-controlled Mandatory Palestine.
Jesus Christ.
At 17 years old, she joined the Haganah, which was apparently the Palestinian army, in which she was a sniper, and she was wounded at 20 years old from a mortar shell
on the next Maury.
Yeah, she was injured during a war during the 47 to 49 Israeli War of Independence, and almost lost both of her feet.
Wow,
you're a tough bitch.
No shit.
I'm frightened. And also a little turned on. I don't know. Seriously.
Herm's going to have that accent going on later while he's squeezing the cheese. You have to take the penis.
Last time you sucked dick on horseback.
Yeah, she was sucking dick on horseback, Annie Oakley. What are you doing? What was the last time you saw a penis, Dr. Ruth?
For real. Jewish midget snipers on the next hard copy.
I was thinking Geraldo.
Where's Marsh? Where's Marsh?
Jesus Christ!
Right, Marsh missed
Marsh would be all over this.
He'd be like that.
Did you just say?
He's like, I'm writing this down. It's going in my Pornhub log, and
I wonder if there's a search for that.
I'm curious, and I really am. I'm very curious to know if I read my research right. She didn't get her doctorate until she was in her 40s.
Right. Yeah, she was,
which would have been the late 60s, early 70s.
After she was done sniping motherfuckers, she decided to go to college.
Oh, there's someone you don't want to say no to. Hi, would you like to go out? No. Rethink that shit. I'd love to go out with you, Dr. Ruth. Thank you very much.
You just pick up the phone like you're in the crosshairs. I'm going to ask you a question. Answer very, very carefully.
You know, if she'd have died just one day later, I'd have a conspiracy theory of my own now that I know she was a sniper.
There you go.
Gotcha, Herm, you fat fuck.
Thank God I was not fucking sipping on that one.
I know.
The whole show would have gone up in fucking flames.
I picked my spot.
Jesus. You know, now that I know that, it's a good thing she died the day she did.
Yeah, she died 6 hours before the rally.
Dr. Ruth, CIA sniper at 97.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, it still baffles me. You know, even thinking back to the 80s, and we're in our teen years, and here comes Dr. Ruth. She's all over television. It's like there's no one younger you can get advice from. You got to put this wrinkled up old hag on the television.
Right. Like, you know, like that's what, you know, like if Leon Phelps could have been more to the point and more truthful and less boastful, we all could have gotten much, much further if he had just said the same shit that Dr. Ruth has said. You don't need Dr. Ruth, okay, to learn how to eat bok. You need a large black lady named Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth will tell you how to eat that shit. Oh no, honey, that's not how you eat it. There it is. All right,
the alphabet.
What you really need.
Lick the alphabet.
For real, I write my motherfucking name. Done. I'm old. I know cursive, bitch. Ha.
Oh, wow. Kids today will never know the joys of writing your name in cursive with your tongue.
You know, I tried to write a sentence. I tried to write a sentence in cursive the other day. I couldn't do it.
Wow, you have fallen.
I don't remember. I print everything. The only thing I sign in cursive is my fucking signature.
You have lost the plot.
I know. I was just gonna say, like, I'm not exactly sure what card I need to pull from him.
Just my Gen X card.
Just Jesus Christ, dude. That's the only other skill. That and manual transmissions, and we fucking cripple a generation. We cripple everybody. We're not going to pass secret notes. We're just going to write all of our battle plans in cursive and walk them down the fucking street.
I learned on a 3 on a tree.
Yo, amen. Amen on a Chevy 3 on the tree, baby. Yes, sir.
Big old Chevy van.
A good old C. It was a C10. Yes, sir.
Damn.
I was driving a C. I learned how to drive on a C, like 79 or 82 C30 conversion van.
Damn.
Yeah, we had a C10 farm truck that didn't have any floorboards for hay, for hay, and that was it.
Let me ask you guys a question. Were the milk duds melting in your laps while you were hunting children in these vehicles?
Yes.
No, I don't like that.
No, but the kids do.
That's what
melt in your mouth, not your hands.
That's what the puppies were for. You get more victims with puppies than you do milk duds.
All right. I guess I was doing it wrong. Speaking of puppies.
Oh my God.
Speaking of puppies. And I know this is a bad segue.
Speaking of sweater puppies.
Breast cancer, unfortunately, took one of my first teenage childhood crushes, Shannon Doherty, at the age of 53.
Yeah.
Our age, man.
She was never really like she was never one of my favorites.
She came across because you said it about Shelley Duvall, and I'm going to say this: the first time I saw Shannon Doherty was in that show Our House, and she was quirky cute, and she stayed quirky cute until the 90s. I never
found her like drop dead gorgeous.
No, never.
She was never ugly. She was there. She had ugly. She had periods of her life where she was more or less attractive the way she was doing herself. And in my personal opinion, of course, my personal opinion, but I was never big on 90210.
No, never watched it.
Stupid as fuck.
Never watched it. Not one episode.
And if I did, it was because somebody like my sister had the TV. You know what I mean? Like it was never done by choice. I'm not gonna lie, I did watch Melrose Place, but
I'm sorry.
Well, I got sucked in. I didn't watch from the start. I got sucked in because somebody I was in a relationship with and her friend watched it, and the two couples lived in a house and shit, and he got sucked into it. Big Al got sucked into it, and then I got sucked into it. So it was Tuesday nights, and shut the fuck up because it's Melrose, honey. And that's kind of like it works.
Very much like my Al, Days of Our Lives.
I was like, Al, are you fucking watching Melrose Place? He's like, dude, you gotta watch this shit. It's fucking insane. This bitch is doing this to this one, and this guy is like, are you fucking with me? He's like, dude,
it's basically it's the same thing as my Days.
I'm like,
you're in.
Dude, I'm like, yo, we watching tonight, right? We got popcorn. We're gonna watch. It's like it was bad, and I didn't.
It's the same way. It's the same way I got hooked into Days of Our Lives. You're dating someone. She had got a new shift, and she's like, okay, you got to watch Days, because no one knew how to figure out how to program the fucking VCR back then. Got to watch Days and tell me what happened. Okay, first week, what happened? Okay. So the mom from Our House and the dude with the lazy eye are having an affair, and the Jufro guy doesn't know it, and the Italian guy wants to kill him.
And 3 weeks later, like, listen. So John Black said some fucked up shit to Marlena, right? Marlena runs back. Next thing you know, Stefano's got her fucking ass.
Carly and then Roman had to come in.
Carly is losing her shit.
And you know all the characters, and little by little, you learn more. They tell
you do that, and you're like, I have no idea what the fuck I just said.
Yep. And that's kind of the same thing with Herm. When we were rooming together, he comes in one day, goes, "Are you watching Days of Our Lives?" Like, shut up.
What the fuck is this?
20 more minutes. Shut up. And then he was in.
Yeah, I first saw Shannon Doherty in Our House, and then I missed that whole period of time with 90210. She wasn't in my radar because I did not watch that show. I never watched an episode. Then the next time I see her was in Mallrats.
Yes.
And then from Mallrats to Charmed. I was with Megan, and Megan liked Charmed, so I got wrapped up into that show.
The movie Heathers.
I did see. Yes,
I'm gonna sound like the non-typical Gen Xer. I don't like that movie.
I didn't say you had to like it, but
watched it. I've watched about 2/3 of it and never gotten through the entire thing.
Okay.
I like it simply because I had the most devastating crush on Winona Ryder.
I did too, but I
would dig up a yard, a city block of sidewalk, just to watch her shit float through the sewer. Back then. That's the best way I can put it.
I would slide down a razor blade into a pool of alcohol just to hear her piss into a cup on the phone.
I loved Winona Ryder.
I'm getting itchy,
bro.
And what was the other? Itchy. What was the other one? Blonde, short hair, dykey haircut. Mary
Stuart Masterson.
Stuart Masterson. Yeah.
Yes.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the movie she did with Eric Stoltz.
Yep.
In Some Kind of Wonderful.
I loved her.
You loved. Yeah, but the best part about that
was fucking amazing.
You start that movie just thinking, wow, Leah Thomas is hot. Leah Thompson, whatever, she was hot.
Yeah, and then you get halfway into it and you're like, yo, she's fucking smoking.
I'm kind of digging on the one this skinny broad with the funny hair.
Like the alternative chick, kind of like just kind of really where it's at. Yeah, that whole movie was awesome. That movie was exquisite. Yeah, Mary Stuart Masterson was another one of those, like Winona Ryder. Yep.
But yeah, I think with Shannen Doherty, the fact that she could laugh at herself after the troubling bad girl years in the 90s.
With all the bullshit, through the cast with the 90210, and then she fucking hated Alyssa Milano with every ounce of her own soul.
Good, fuck Alyssa Milano.
I don't know if anybody has heard, Alyssa Milano is a piece of walking human fucking trash.
Yeah,
well, I don't support anything she does. She's good to look at. I will say that, but that's about it.
Yeah, she's easy on
fucking walking trash. But yeah, and so her story was only being told from the opposing angle,
right?
And she had every right to be upset and be pissed. And she was for what she was demanding. She was asking for very reasonable demands and shit like that. She was difficult to work with. Kevin Smith said it. I mean, they had a very, very love-hate relationship on the set of Mallrats.
Mm-hmm. He was
Kevin's post the other day.
The amount of money she was asking for.
Right.
That's what it comes. I'm not paying a disagreeable fucking employee a lot of money because they decide they want it. I'm paying it for other reasons.
Right. And
they told her hit the
Kevin Smith posted a very nice post on social media the other day, and he summed her up in a very, very cool way. Again, she lived unapologetically. She didn't care if she hurt your feelings, because feelings aren't really what matter. It's just the truth. And they had love, hate relationship all the way through. And he said she was one of the nicest people on the fucking planet.
Yeah, when you go back and look at, Mallrats in the 90s versus when she did the cameo in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and written into the movie was, hey, Shan, we're going to fuck with your reputation filming this. It was like they were filming Scream. She's like, you hired a monkey? What the fuck? Cut, throwing shit. Shannon, you don't get to say cut. I don't care. Just basically, we're shining the light, and you're old enough and mature enough to accept this now.
She spoofed herself, which
and I'm sure it was in the discussion.
Self-deprecation sometimes shows a level of understanding and knowing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm all right.
She called me callow.
With me.
Oh, she called you callow. That was the only part I thought was complimentary.
That's the only part I thought was complimentary.
I got to go back and watch it. Mallrats is easily one of my favorite films.
Yeah, it was very, very just a victim of its own existence. Kevin's first studio film after making it very successful on the indie circuit with Clerks. A lot of studio pushback. They had to audition Jason Mewes for the part that was written for him. I mean, come on.
Even though he just
Seth Green almost got that part. Seth Green would have been Jay.
No, that wouldn't have worked.
And that's why Kevin Smith even says lesson learned, man. That's why most of his films thereafter were all independent, unless he was doing a director for hire.
It gave him
with the exception being Jersey Girl. The 2.5 hour, 2 and 3/4, 2 hour and 20-minute cut of Jersey Girl, director's uncut version, is of one of Kevin's best movies. But he can't. They won't let him get the rights to it to release it the way he wanted it.
He doesn't own that.
No, he doesn't.
I'm waiting.
That's unfortunately the deal that he made to get that movie made, but he doesn't own it, and it's really hard to get a copy.
It's the same thing with Dogma. Dogma, he's been wanting to do the 20th, 25th anniversary edition of this, and he can't.
It's absolutely insane, but you can only watch it like it's been recorded by a VHS, and it's fucked up. Like you used to go to the bootlegger for movies.
No, Lynch has a copy of it on DVD that I used to borrow on the regular, like every 4 months. Like, I think it was.
Huh?
And I'd be like, every 4 months, I'd be like, yo, Lynch, I'm borrowing this again. Yes.
Yeah, I have. I got a couple different copies of Dogma.
I watched it 37 times in a row.
I don't think it's ever been on Blu-ray.
No, only DVD,
DVD,
VHS,
and Laserdisc.
Laserdisc.
That was one of the last Laserdisc movies to be released.
I always thought that in the 90s, and again, youth, we were around the same age as she was in the 90s, and none of us gave half a flying fuck what people thought. If she could have got past that early, my God, she'd have had a bigger, more illustrious career, but she still has a great body of work that we can look back at and go, all right, she made her mark. And when she found out she had cancer, she became like one of the top celebrity advocates. There wasn't a day that went by for the last, other than the last year, for that 10 years or so when she got the diagnosis, she was out there humping it for the American Cancer Society, the Susan G. Komen, all of that. She was out there. She was a freaking warrior for that stuff.
Right. You know, and she was as much of an advocate for cancer as like Christine Applegate is for MS now. And Christ, who was the other actress from the 90s and 2000s who has MS? But you know, they're really into it. You know, that says something about their character.
It wasn't Michael J. Fox. That was Parkinson's.
No. He has Parkinson's. Fuck, it's the girl that was in the original Hellboy.
Nah, use your Google.
Oh, that
machine,
brunette?
Bro.
Huh?
The brunette?
Yeah. I can't think of her name. But she has MS as well, I believe.
I'm looking it up.
Bob Backlund.
Yo, who else died?
That's it.
Right.
Unfortunately, the firefighter at this weekend's rally. We'll get Selma Blair.
Yeah, she has MS.
Yes, that's right. I just saw something on her recently. She was a cutie too.
And the girl who played Meadow Soprano, she also has MS. She was
Genuine Siegler.
Yeah, she was diagnosed very young.
Wow.
Yeah,
I do bad things to her that are illegal in most states.
Beautiful woman.
Oh my God.
And
now now my mid-20s hormones are kicking in, and I'm 50. This is scary.
For real.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
It is really good. It is really good.
It had its rough seasons, but it was overall really good.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the shooting at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, we know.
What the fuck? Background. Oh.
I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, I am not big on conspiracy theories, but there are some that I look into pretty deeply. JFK being one of them. In the last 4 days, there he is.
We just got to get rid of all that grass, Herm. Just gotta
wait. That looks familiar. Is that behind my house? Ow! No, shit.
That's like my backyard right now because of all the fucking rain.
Oh,
yeah. My liver.
Fight.
Something bit me.
I don't. Something bit me. I am not big on conspiracy theories, but Herman's opened my eyes to a couple of days. Hold on, breathe on this for a minute. I can see, and I've come up. Took a drive earlier today. After one of our last. Is Jen gonna?
Don't start no shit. Not after the Steven Tyler comment and the pick and the chips. Don't start. You're on thin ice.
Steven Tyler.
Oh boy.
I'll tell the story in a minute.
All right. I can see there being a conspiracy from the far left and the far right. I've listened to what Herms had to say. In the beginning, we were very much wanting more information, and the information has trickled. In every other shooting in the last 5 years, we've gotten information on what they had for breakfast. This is their manifesto. For some reason, this guy is cleaner than Mr. Clean. Herm, take it away, because you've had some interesting thoughts.
I want this. Look, we were talking earlier, and you know what? I totally want to be proven to sound absolutely insane. But I just feel there's a lot of discrepancies going on. We've got a 20-year-old kid that has a computer that the FBI, I'm going to repeat that, the FBI is having difficulty after 3 days or 2 days at least.
Yeah, they cracked it this morning.
It took them 36 hours to get limited access into his phone. Not full access, limited access into a phone of a 20-year-old. We're talking CIA level of security blankets and firewalls, if that's the case.
Where's your beverage?
CIA is the
Where is your beverage? Do not lift it right now. Maybe he had ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is the easiest.
Like, right? Like, seriously, like my man, like a VPN can only go so far. Like,
it's in the ad that Ben Shapiro does every single week, and he was saying the same thing as you were earlier today. Why is it taking 3 days to get into this kid's phone or computer? But on the fucking ad reads, he says it would take a supercomputer close to 1,000 years to break through the wall that ExpressVPN can give to you. This kid watched Ben Shapiro. He got ExpressVPN. The FBI can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, but that works for like for that. The problem is that we're talking about a level of security and a program that's running on a device that's blocking them from accessing anything, not just where what my internet location is. Anybody can spoof that. That's easy. 4-year-olds are doing that shit now.
Yeah.
We're talking the FBI can't get into this nigga's laptop.
The FBI, who can find out if you made a bad comment, and I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back now. Post 9/11. If you've ever watched the film Fahrenheit 9/11, not that I'm a big fan of anything what Michael Moore does, but I was told you should watch this. And the guy told his story. I said something in a chat room, like on MySpace or AOL or something, saying that he thought 9/11 could be an inside job, and this would be a way for George W. Bush, who at the time had the lowest approval rating ever,
and then this happened.
Right.
Who is it? The federal
government. FBI. Yeah, it's the FBI. They got him out of he was at the gym. He wasn't even at his house. How the fuck did they know he was at the gym? That's the point.
Since 9/11, I've lived my life knowing that the government listens to every fucking word I say. Yeah. And I really don't care. If they want to come at me, come at me. Come on.
Right.
I've said
enough shit. Make me a martyr, motherfucker.
I've said enough shit that should have had them swap me already. In our chat thread alone, that
same. They're going to put us in the same cell at Quantico.
Because I know the FBI is not listening, so I'm not showing them my shit.
Well, I took the liberty of getting ExpressVPN. No, I'm kidding.
It's like you've got a 20-year-old that's got a computer system that the FBI can't get into.
Right.
We have reports that they use the serial number off the gun to get the identity of the shooter. But then we find out that the police that the guy's father called after he heard about it and reported that he had a gun stolen. So the police
and his son is missing.
So the police showed up to find out what was up. We've got people telling
a couple hours after the incident,
right? Like within an hour, we were told within an hour after the incident that the FBI had pulled. That was able to. We were told later, but it was on scene at the gun right there. They pulled from the serial number. That could be done right there on spot. Literally, we all know.
Yeah,
they can do that right while his body's still fucking warm and the rifle's there.
Yeah.
The other issue is that we were told that the kid's father called. The other issue is we've got video of people telling the police now, and here's the line: the Secret Service is saying that was the state police department. That was their department. It was that wasn't us. That area was under state police security. We've got the state police being told in video that there's somebody on the motherfucking roof.
They watched him climb.
Yes, we've got Secret Service snipers pointed in the direction of the sniper on the roof. Nobody saw shit. We have We have Secret Service agents clearing people out from the area next to the stage that would have been could have been collateral damage. Like just moments before shots rang out, all of a sudden there's people back there and they were fine. I watched a video and all of a sudden a guy comes on like this and goes, all right, we need to move you all. Moves 3 or 4 people right out of the fucking way and opens the area right up. There's way too many fucking holes, dude. I really want all of this to come out and be like, no, no, they're definitely, this is definitely how it went down. But the more we watch it and the way it comes out, it's just not definitive. There's no solidifying evidence that and look, we know Trump is a showman. We know how he is. And I'm not saying this because I support him or I'm against him. I'm going on basic character. We know that pulling a stunt is what he does. So I don't know. There's too many holes to be disproving anything that either side is saying.
Yeah, because I have one on the other side. Go ahead, Lynch, please. You start.
I just want to go to a point that Herm had about the snipers. If you watch that video a couple of times, there was no room for adjustment when the sniper
dude,
shot.
No, he was pointed there. You watch it? I knew you would fucking catch it. Dude, he was there. He literally dropped his eye and squeezed. Dude, you and I are both shooters. I wanted you to see that so bad.
I didn't see that video. I apologize.
All right. So prior to all this, when those 2 cops or Secret Service set up, were pointed both at the same direction. One was pointed directly at the shooter, and the other one was pointed off to the east, well to the right. I don't know what direction that would be.
Right, it would have been the far side. It would have been the far end of the building.
It would have been the far right of that building.
He climbed the building that on the far left side.
He set up his weapon directly at the shooter.
Yes.
From where the video then starts of the actual event with Trump talking. He's looking over.
There's no him looking around. There's no him moving the fucking scope at all.
He's transfixed.
This is what he did. This is what his head did.
Drops his eye down to the reticle and squeezed.
And just start squeezing.
He centered his eye and squeezed. I'm telling you, that shot was lined up before he took it. He only had to confirm target.
Exactly.
Because anybody who shoots anything over 150 yards knows that if you set up, you know where your target is going to be. You set up and you adjust, and you look through the scope. Then, if you have to look around at the environment to see if there's anything to the left or right of that,
that's done with a monocle. It's done with a monocle set to the same scope value,
or you're going to have a spotter.
Right.
Or you're going to have a spotter.
Right. But it's done with
he didn't have to,
because your shit's already lined up.
He sat in not the reticle position for quite some time, and then just put his head down and started squeezing.
He never looked around. He never did nothing. He literally heard a shot and dropped his eye down and squeezed.
There were 7 or 8 shots that the shooter shot from his weapon, 5.56 rounds. Then you heard 2 big bangs. And that's it.
And that's my other issue is that you and I both know what a 5.56 round does.
I don't think I've ever shot anything that big.
Okay, at 100, there's a reason that I like an AK-47. It's because it's a larger round. It does more damage. Here's the thing: a 5.56 round catching his ear in any way, shape, or form would have taken the entire top of his ear off. Lynch, you and I, dude, we've had hour-long discussions regarding ballistics and how that shit works. You and I are like the only 2 in our group that are really fucking geeky on it.
So what hit him was shrapnel from the headshot.
Yeah,
that took out the unfortunate.
It was that
unfortunate death.
That was not
a direct hit.
That was not a bullet. A 223, or I knew right off the rip.
No, because it would have ripped his fucking ear off.
The 223 would have ripped his ear off. A 5.57.
He would have lost a chunk of head.
He would have lost the top of the fucking ear.
at least.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Mick Foley.
I'm just saying, yeah, like if he got hit in the ear that close, it would have took the whole ear off. We're
at 150 yards. Yes, you're absolutely right.
150 yards. We're talking a bullet with we're talking a high velocity bullet.
This is a bullet that's so capable, fast, isn't it? Please let me stop you.
So fast that it will ignite tannerite just because of the speed and the impact energy it hits with.
Isn't that the kind of shell or the kind of round that Chris Kyle was using when he shot that dude from 3/4 of a mile away?
No, that was actually that was a Barrett. That was a Barrett 50, and it was specialized hand-done ammunition and a hand-put-together weapon. That we're talking about
much larger round.
Yeah, it's an F1. That's an F1 car to a Friday night, outlaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for dumbing it down.
You're talking about. Oh no, I'm.
I got you.
We're talking about a weapon that Chris Kyle ran that was probably worth close to $1 million with the amount of armory work that had been done to it and specialized
hardware and technology.
It's insane. This kid used an off the shelf, larger caliber M16 or style
AR-15.
Yeah, it's all the same.
An AR-15's max effective range is about 225, 250 yards.
Yeah,
so he was in good range.
He was well
within range.
One shot death.
Yeah. Yeah, with a well-placed shot.
One shot would have fucking.
Yeah, if he had been at about 220
over the entire rear of that stage.
Yeah, if he had been about another 50, 60 yards out, it would have been a little bit more difficult. But
that's why in the beginning they were talking and they thought maybe it was a 22, and I looked at Trump Zero and I was like, that totally could be damaged. For if I shot a 22 long at 150, I could make that work.
Yeah,
with a nice scope, I could make a 22 long hit with a hit, but that would be the damage I'd expect from a 22 long bullet.
But you're going from from a 12 grain bullet to a 100 grain bullet.
I was going to say you're talking about 170. You're right. You're talking about a 112 grain bullet with a charge.
That's going to go much faster
with a 600 grain powder fill.
Boom. So and I'm not, again, like Herm said, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. I have my theories about JFK.
We've talked.
The government isn't innocent in that. That's about as much as I'm going to get into it on this show tonight. That's a totally different show that we could have and just talk about it ad nauseum.
It's totally looking that way here.
There's two different ways I have before Lynch finishes his point. I have one from the left and one from the right. Okay, so I'm going to start with the left. The conspiracy theory I'm hearing rattled around, and Herm touched on it a little bit, but his was, let me run this by you. This is just me thinking outside the box. There are people that
I run like 74 scenarios in my head when I think this. You know how I
absolutely. Yeah. And that's why our conversations are as fantastic as they are. The theory on one side says this was a setup. Trump did this to himself. The other side has the conspiracy theory, and to me, it has a little bit of truth, unless until you find out the kid was getting ready to vote in his first election, registered Republican. Mom and dad are dad's a libertarian, mom's a Democrat.
Mom and dad are dad's a Democrat, but they're both very middle.
Yes, center left, and the other one's a libertarian
all the way.
The other theory, and this is one I've heard battered about, and I can see the truth in it, is when you tell a country that someone is literally Hitler, and if he gets elected, our way of life is over, and it's the end of democracy as we know it, and yada yada yada. Some crazies are going to take that seriously.
Yeah, but if you've got a Republican that sits more in the middle and realizes that both edges are absolutely insane,
exactly,
is it entirely implausible that he could literally sit there and be like, Trump is not the answer we need to the it's not the path to the middle. It's more divisive. No. And it's I want to sound so fucking insane. It's not funny on this.
Another day.
And I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that, because I want us to be wrong. But
yes, completely.
And the left hand, the theory about that, I do lean more towards your second theory there, Chris, because look at what the far left has done and demonized anyone, not just Trump, anyone that doesn't agree with their philosophy and their rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
You're evil.
You're racist.
You should be killed. You should be killed. You should be killed. You should be canceled.
Oh yeah.
Now we have these idiots praising the fact that he was shot at, and saying too bad he missed.
Well, I gotta be honest, gentlemen. I saw Chris's post the other night about if you support this, then you can take yourself off my friends list. And I didn't comment that night because things were kind of hot that night. But I'm gonna say this: the Republicans are the exact same side that will look you square in the eye and tell you that every now and then we need to have a little fucking revolution.
I've heard that. I have heard that.
All right. That revolution from time to time is a good thing. It shakes things up, changes it up. So I don't support the action of shooting at the president. I know,
and that's what I was saying.
Up, okay, but I also support the fact that every now and then somebody's got to do something to shake things up. So I don't know how you want to classify that.
Mm-hmm.
I you know what I mean? And I'm not doing this because
no, I got you.
I started thinking like,
good. That's what I wanted to. Like, that's what I wanted.
I support the fact that this nigga felt so strongly that he did what he did, that he thought it was good. All right, we've got,
and you're reinforcing my entire point is that it's okay to act violent and be violent to get your point across.
You know, our country was literally based on if this is his reason for doing it, our country was the entire fucking concept.
We just celebrated a holiday where political violence was the birth of this country.
Was the birth,
well, and then again with the Civil War. With the Civil War was a political war.
Yes,
completely. It was all political,
and not against a foreign nemesis. It was against ourselves.
And I do prescribe to that. That a little bit of revolution is probably good for the diet.
At the exact same time, and the system at the time was exactly as divisive as it is now.
After
the war, it was all about coming together, and we came together, and then we fucking drifted apart again. It took a long time, like it did with the
famous saying, Herm. What's the famous saying? History always repeats itself.
Always repeats itself.
And
it always runs on cycles. We come together. There's nothing unifying us, and we just start to go. And right now, divisive is the whole name of the game. I got to be on both sides. Everybody wants to be divisive. I do see the Republicans wanting to work a little more towards the middle, because you don't see only, and I say
they're
that
initiating.
I say that only
the conversation.
The Republicans trying to out somebody and remove them from a position because they may have tried to get work done. You don't see the Republicans trying to get rid of anybody because they at least tried to get some work done with the other side.
The Republicans
are dead set on anything. Look, dude, this is a great fucking law. Who wrote this? Insert anybody on the left's name, regardless of how far left they are. Republican. This is some bullshit. And that's the problem. It was good till you heard who wrote it.
And when you made that point a couple of weeks ago, and it's the same, we could repeat ourselves every fucking time, but it's at least the Republicans that are initiating the conversation by trying to enact laws, bills, however you want to call it, statutes that are kind of more in the middle. But as soon as the Democrats
get punished,
right. And to your point,
get worried about cancel culture comes in.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Somebody leaked the Dobbs decision, which was the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and it put it back in the state's hands.
Oh yeah, they wanted to fucking hang him in the town square.
Somebody went with a hit kit to Brett Kavanaugh's house and got caught. And that's their model. Now, if again we go back, we can go back to Obamacare, which was a nightmare. We can go back to a lot of different things that Democrats put out there. We didn't see a lot of violence. Nobody burned any cities down. Nobody went after, the Democrats. On that note, and we're talking about, the majority of either party, the Democrats or the Republicans. What we're talking about is far right, far left. What we've heard, and especially I got to point to AOC, who was the lioness bitch that ever opened her mouth with her tweet. Oh, we can't stand for this political vote. You're one of the many of the squad, you and Ilhan Omar and all the others who have been calling him Hitler, who has said he needs to be eradicated from public life. Those were their words. And if it came back to bite him in the ass, now she wants to play sympathetic. I get it. Now, on the flip side, exactly. And on the flip side, you have Republicans who have been fighting the Dems, the far right and the far left, beating each other up and saying, we need to unify America. No shit, Sherlock. If you like Herm said, if somebody hands me a bill and I'm Senator Chris Burns, Republican from Connecticut, and I read it,
you find out who the fuck wrote it.
And I'm talking about me, and I vote yes. And then everybody, right. And everybody, all the rest of the party finds out I voted yes. I'm now the outlier. I'm the one who has to sit and explain myself. No, I don't. This had a lot of good things. This should be a bipartisan bill. This is the right thing for the country. We're not talking about the Green New Deal. We're not talking about the electric car mandate that they're trying to push. If it's something that is beneficial, I don't give a shit if a Democrat wrote it. I don't give a shit if a Republican wrote it. I don't give a shit if my daughter wrote it. I would vote for it because it makes sense for the country.
The problem being is that the far left and it's actually a majority of the left in general, not just the far. I will say majority of the left in general. If you don't buy into something that doesn't make sense, they don't want to continue the conversation because their way is the only way. Because
according to them, yeah.
Because the right does try to ask questions and watch these Senate meetings, man, with Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz and Kennedy ripping these people apart. These so-called professionals or judges who want to be promoted to like the state Supreme Court and shit like that. They talk in circles, in circular logic, and when they're called out on their bullshit, they can't explain their way out of a wet paper bag.
Here's an idea for you.
Because their arguments are empty and wet and limp and make no fucking sense.
You saw the news that the classified documents case was dismissed, right? On
Correct.
Donald Trump.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And I didn't read all 93 pages. I read a truncated version, which was about 25 pages. Sorry, I didn't do all my homework, but I'm into shit like this. You guys both know this.
Well, that's like me reading the Project 2025 synopsis.
Oh, that is so garbage.
It is, bro. But did you go ahead? Let
me finish the point. You go back to. We'll come back to Project 2025 because the Heritage Foundation is nobody that anybody wants anything to do with because, unlike, okay, I don't want to get too far off the point. What was the point?
I don't remember.
God damn it! I'm retracing my steps.
Take your Chris, take your memory booster.
Right, give me some ginkgo biloba. Okay.
Hi, I'm old.
We have.
Come on, man, you can do it.
We have come to a point, and this is where I was going. I'm not going to make the speech that was ahead of it. We have come to a point where, and Lynch said it best, where we're actually drawing a line in the sand between the parties, whereas in the past, When you look at, say, the Clinton administration, when you look at the Bush Jr. administration, I know he's not a junior. I'm differentiating the two. You had Democrats and Republicans working together. Did you have some far right and far left outliers that would not? Yes, absolutely. Now,
you always will.
Right, but now
nobody got punished for getting work done, though.
Exactly, and I said it.
Spoken out against. Yeah, well, they did, but
I said it in that post. It's the divided states of America, and I blame a lot of people. I blame the far right. I blame the far left. I blame the news media, because the news media used to be, and I'll go back to Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, Ted Koppel. My job is to report. Right, my job is to report the news. My job isn't to give you my slant. Here's what happened. And then they would bring in, and with an opinion on today's events, here's Michael Herman, Democrat from Colorado. And they would sprinkle that in, and then they would do the counterpoint. And the Republican from Connecticut is Chris Lanchin, where he's going to give his opinion. But they gave you the straight shit. Do you know what they took off the air Monday morning? Because of fear that they would, and this was in a press release, Morning Joe, because Joe Scarborough and that idiot bitch are the biggest liars on television.
What I don't even know what show that show is.
It's Morning Joe. It's on CNN in the mornings or whatever the fuck it's on.
Oh, I don't watch that. I watch my local news, nigga. You know my local news is right down
I know your local news.
Middles. I love it. It's right down the middle. They don't put it. It's Walter Cronkite when the weatherman's got tits.
It's kind of like CBS out of Hartford, Channel 3. They report the news and they do the same thing Koppel and Rather and Cronkite
like they're
did.
Going to give the same excitement and energy when the DNC happens that they're talking about. They call people in, they let them talk. Lynch is the only person who knows, but my local NBC station is about. I would consider them the actual pulse of American news.
I got to check this out. I got to get you. I got to get your sign-in info.
News Nation. All right, so News Nation leans a little bit right, a tiny little bit right. My local news pulls the right, and it literally runs right down the fucking middle.
Beautiful.
It's really nice shit. It's really refreshing.
We need more of that.
To pull the slant. Now you get national NBC news with some slant, but local news here is basically about what the fuck's going on, and that's it. It's really, really. I love my local news, and I've never loved local news before.
I want you guys to think back in your head, and then I'm going to shut up. This made me hot, and I said it. That's where I was going. Now I remember. We are truly the divided states of America. We're not united in any way, shape, or form, other than the fact that our borders touch, and you can tell where Georgia is. It's purple. I can see it on the map. We've gone so far in 23 years since 9/11, when the country came together and we were just all about being together and being American, regardless of what we think about 9/11. It brought America together. Now we're 2 decades past that, and we are so divided that I don't think, and we are all getting up in age, I don't think in our lifetime we're going to see the world come back, see the country come back together.
Probably right as we die. It's about a 20-25 year cycle, and we're in the middle. I feel we're definitely in the middle of it. So we've probably got another 10-15 years.
If social media had been around when Reagan got shot, do you think there'd be people cheering for that? Because I know that when Reagan got shot by John Hinckley, that the nation just was.
Well, my mother was a devout Republican. She was a teacher, and she was a Republican. I'm still 2 years fucking later getting mail from specific people at the Republican Party in my mother's name, and I'm like, fuck. My father I don't know why, but since I've switched to my dad's phone, I get I get texts 3 or 4 a day from some number in regards to Republican shit. So
I signed up for
to do with the device and the MAC address itself.
Yeah, I signed up one time. I forget what it was. I took a survey, and it asked you to put your number in.
My parents' political views are constantly shoved down my throat.
Right? I did a survey one time and I asked you to put your number in at the end, so I do, and we'll send you texts and updates. I got a text 2 days ago. The shooting happened on Saturday, so this was on Sunday. I got a text from this strange 6-digit number. It's like, you've seen the appalling footage. Donald Trump Jr. wants you to join the fray and this and that. I'm like, whoa, what? I look, I didn't vote for it. Go ahead.
All right, so
yeah,
number on the top.
Yep,
the text. That number is a text. That's Jen. That number is a Republican Party text.
Maybe they're trying to tell you something.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, turn off your fucking phone. That's what they're trying to tell you.
Yo, where is it? Hey, this is JD Vance. Here's what I told President Trump after he. JD Vance ain't talking to me, bitch.
No, he's not. That's why saying, when I got that text, Donald Trump Jr.
So fucked up. Like, I'm catching all kinds of Republican shit on my phone and all kinds of Democrat shit on. And I'm not registered here as nothing. I'm not even registered to technically fucking vote here. But
can we talk about JD Vance for a minute?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let's do that.
Interesting.
Has anybody actually watched any of the RNC?
I watched a little bit of it.
All right.
Full disclosure, I worked last night. I watched a little bit.
Watch the opening. I got to be honest. I will never feel the same about Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA." That's
been his song for the last since he announced his candidacy.
I know it is, but I understand that. I just after last night, I just can't feel it. He came out with the big Band-Aid. I'm going to use that reference. Big Band-Aid, make you laugh. He came out with big Band-Aid on the fucking ear. Like his.
I mean, can we?
He's driving our bus. Perfect. Yo, I looked at Jen. I was like, this bitch.
I just got one.
I gotta be honest. I was like, I gotta be honest, babe. I said, see. I was like, babe.
Are you free tonight, Chris? Ron DeSantis is speaking at the RNC tonight. Yeah. Well, I did. You know what? That's probably where these all come from because I was a big supporter of Ron DeSantis to be the next president of the United States.
Yeah, like I watched that last night. Like, look at this fucking white ass, sorry ass. I got shot flag on his ear. I'm like, you know what? Donnie's doing it wrong, babe.
He's doing it right.
Like, I said he's doing it wrong. I said I'd have gone out there with my ear tore up. You know why? Why? Because bitches love scars.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, dude, you get this big thing on your arm. What happened? Oh, it's in a knife fight.
Look at him. He's out there. His ears all busted up. He's still doing it.
Show me your titties.
Like, bitches love scars, bro.
Look, I don't know what side this came from. I want to talk about JD Vance for a minute. I was highly interested in the JD Vance story when his book came out.
Boxes, bro, pretty blue eyes. He's
breathe with me here.
She's like he's attractive.
He's the first politician.
Right. I got to be honest.
Go ahead.
Trump learned his lesson the first time and didn't go with an older mentor. Trump went with a younger yes man this time.
I disagree slightly, and I'll explain why. Since Jesse Ventura, and I know somebody's going to roll their eyes out there in TV land or one of you guys.
I like Jesse.
The first politician who came up hard in our lifetime. He, poor youth, abused as a child, sexually and physically, battled his way, Yale Law School. I mean, this is a kid that you want to show your kids this is how you do it. As hard as you think you've got it,
right.
This is how you do it. And when his book came out some years ago,
but it's also we're talking about Vance, right?
Yes.
Okay, but it's also somebody that you would also expect a modicum amount of sympathy and understanding towards for social programs that might aid.
He does. Don't believe all the hype. I've read into him. I've read his book. I watched the movie. By the way, don't watch the movie. if you're one of those guys like me, you read the book and then they make a movie about it. I am dissecting this fucking thing like a surgeon. The movie was pap. Don't watch it. Read the book. You can find it on Kindle, Audible, whatever. Check out the book. You will not be disappointed. However, he's the first politician since Jesse Ventura who had modest upbringing, did his own work to get to where he is. He was also, back in 2016, a Trump disliker, was a never Trumper, but much like all of us, we change as the years go on. We see things and we make decisions based on what we see. You know, if I hear one more person say, oh, it's the end of democracy, Trump was already the president. He could have, this all could have ended 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It didn't. It's not the end of the world.
They just can't come up with anything to say.
Right. It's just more likely to lean for policies to lean a certain way. That's literally what it comes down to.
I think he chose Vance over Pence for the second time for two reasons.
I mean, Pence would never go back.
Well, Pence said he wasn't doing it. I mean, after he told everybody to go fucking hang him, Pence was like, you can go suck off.
That was point number one. Point number two is
he didn't have that option.
JD Vance is going to be the modern day, although on a different ticket, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was young. He was charismatic. And when he got his chance, he ran with it. Yeah, did he get a blowjob or two under the desk? Sure. Wouldn't you? I know I would. But JD Vance, Herm said it best a week or two ago. When you vote for the president and their ticket, it's a vote for the future. If JD Vance is the future, I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, and
some of his policies are suspect. Let's be clear.
There are. But for me, it comes down to, literally, there's really one topic on my voting card. And it's the ability to balance the Supreme Court. And unfortunately, given I've run the numbers, I've checked I've used insurance calculators based on age and certain things to figure out probabilities of death. And Clarence Thomas, being the oldest, does not have an over 50% probability of death in the next 4 to 5 years. So for me, it comes down to the president. The president's the only motherfucker who can decide who he wants to try and get into the Supreme Court. So for me right now, my presidential candidate doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter who, unless there's some off chance somebody kicks the bucket on a tangent. The odds of, even if Joe gets in, being able to select and try to balance out the Supreme Court are slim to none. So for
the problem with balancing the Supreme Court is there are 9 members. You're always going to have a majority.
The problem. My goal right now is to balance it. My ultimate goal is to swing it left.
But what people forget, and I think that I don't think I know that there are going to be Supreme Court justices that will enact something that pushes toward their party instead of doing what their job is to interpret the law and make decisions based on interpretation of the law and doing the right thing by the American people. I think the Supreme Court should be trimmed by 1 and have 4 on one side and 4 on the other. Do you miss the vote? That deciding vote? Yes. Who should that come down to? Maybe the Attorney General, maybe somebody, but to have an improper balance, I think right now it's 6-3 leaning toward Republican on the Supreme Court.
There's only 3 fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6-3 right now.
There's only 3. There's 2 moderates and a mid-level liberal on.
What was the last thing they voted on? And Ilhan Omar was the only dissent, and she ripped, and she just used every squad.
Sotomayor is leans to the left to a
she
degree.
Leans, but I'll give Sonia Sotomayor credit when it comes to the interpretation of the law.
She doesn't like fucking fall over. She's kind of doing this.
Much like Kavanaugh, she'd rather stick to the gun, go straight down the middle, and let's do this by the letter of the law. When you have others
right now is Scalise and fucking Thomas on that court. That's those.
Yep.
Them
Yes,
motherfuckers is doing this to the right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They fall down, keep falling over.
You know, they always fall to the right in a circle. It just, so I would like to see a more balanced court. I don't give a shit about the odd number. I like the odd number.
Okay.
Personally, the chef in me likes the odd number. It's a chef kitchen thing, and odd numbers on plates are just better. It's just
I'm learning more and more about kitchens in the last 3 weeks than I should have ever known in my life.
You never want to give 6 of something. You always give 5 or 7. It's fucked up. So they're always fighting over that. The table's always fighting over the last one.
That's why appetizers are always in odd numbers.
It's swear to God. Rolls to a
9
table.
mozzarella sticks.
Party of 4 sits down. 5 rolls go to the table. Everybody gets a roll, and then they have to have some conversation about the roll. It's just a little trick chefs do. But I would just like to see some more balance somewhere towards. I don't care if it's 5-4 either way. I would just like to see a little closer.
Well, let me.
I would love to see it go 5-4 to the left, and not crazy left, but just enough to get a couple of things accomplished that I.
Well, let me stop you here because I have a solution. And again, I always said if I get voted into the presidency, I'll last 3 days before somebody shoots me. What if you took the Supreme Court? You got 9 members. You got 4 Republicans. You got 4 Democrats. You find the independent or the Tea Party or somebody who doesn't sit in one of the big 2 to be the deciding vote.
Because both parties on each side would say that it's a bullshit slot and that person is whatever party they aren't. It would be entire arguments just over that motherfucker right there.
That's why I said, what if? Ripple Effects is in the comment section saying, not the weed, the vape daddy. I get who's the vape daddy? Thank you for joining, Ripple, whoever you are.
Hello, Ripple. My more scary what if is, what if Trump had become unalived on fucking Saturday?
You did not just use that word.
I love it.
I hate it. That is the dumbest shit.
It is, but it's also a way for people to get through, unfortunately, the robotic censorship that the social media gives. So we got to get away.
Fair.
We can't say murder. We have to say unalived or died.
Oh, assassinated.
It's YouTube. They don't really give a fuck.
Assassinated.
No, YouTube does. What if that happened?
Hold what in? A vape? The vape? We don't hold the vape in. We just puff it and blow clouds, baby. Calm down.
That's it. Thank you, Ripple.
Where I mean, I don't know. If he had died, I think I would be very scared.
We'd be even more divided.
The really far right.
Well, I agreed. That's where I was going.
The really far right.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that scared the living shit out of me. He got hit. He grabbed his ear like JFK would have grabbed the side of his head. We all saw that shit. And then he went down. I'm like, if this nigga's dead, there's literally every
fire in the street.
There's gonna be fire in the streets, and I'm not talking from the left either.
From the right.
No, you're talking about the crazies.
I'm worried about every fucking crazy. Like every extremist. This is it. This time they killed our president. If you're wearing blue, like literally the Crips is worried just because they wear blue that people are gonna.
My mama bought me this shirt. I have to wear it.
My mama bought me this shirt, but like that literally scared the hell out of me for a brief moment.
Yeah. It was a little touch and go for me up until the time I heard he was okay. I mean, based upon what his response to it.
Yeah, my other response is this: did they just smoke this nigga on national TV? That literally is my first.
I'm gonna say
they just Malcolm X this motherfucker. Did he just drop? Did they just drop this motherfucker like Malcolm X on national TV at a fucking rally?
I don't know who you are, Ripple. but you're killing it. You're killing it.
Herm drops those all the time. I got the black car. My man.
On this show. On this show.
Yes, on this
show. I got told, and I don't know if I told you on the Speedway review, which is tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Don't forget to watch.
Be there.
Be there or be, well, do whatever you do.
Obtuse.
Well, I grew up within and Chris will tell you that most of my people and stuff, and a lot of people I grew up within a very heavy hip hop community, bunch of friends. So I was the crazy white guy that hung out with all the black people. So I was there's no telling what that white dude had to do to get the respect of those black people. I'm that guy.
You guys either know or have seen my friend Skip Perry.
Yeah.
So Skip Perry, during our New Hampshire, Sexual Chocolate.
Chocolate love, baby.
We were on our way to New Hampshire, and the motor on my AC unit was fried, and they said, "Oh, we'll have to take the car over the weekend." I'm like, "The fuck, you're taking my car? I'm going to New Hampshire." So he got in the car. I'm like, "No AC." He goes, "Drop the windows. We're Negroes." And I looked at him. I'm like, "Have you looked?"
Good.
He goes, "Yeah, you're like me. We're Negroes. We can get away with no AC. You drop the windows, you take the breeze, you play the music. We're good." So that whole weekend, every time something happened, like, you mentioned the rolls. We were at a restaurant having dinner in New Hampshire, and was Skip, you eating now? I asked roll. He goes, "Nah, man, you Negro, just take it." So I guess now at 51 years old, I'm a Negro, so I'll take it.
That was a poor Negro man from the South.
Right. Everybody where I work is ethnic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Everybody where I work is ethnic to some degree. But like even the little old white lady that and yes, we're including Italians as white people now. But even the little old lady that that runs the salad bar at work at the college there, and she's Italian. She's a little old Italian lady, Franny. But yeah, it's very ethnic where I work. So that word flies around a lot. A lot between the Mexicans and the Spanish and I'm always busting my two immediate supervisors.
I'm sorry. Can you put up Ripple's comment? That's the best. Dude's over here sitting in front of a fern talking about how he grew up in rap culture. You are the best.
I did. That's the thing. Some of us work real hard, and
between two Herms,
you know what I mean. Some of us work our ass really, really hard, and we achieve white people status. That's just how it works. Not all of us are white all the time.
Finish your point, because I got one to make, and I'll throw to lunch.
I grew up in Connecticut, so I used to go down to New York for shows all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's very ethnic here, so it just fits in. But yeah, like both of my chefs are black. My exec and my exec Sue are black. I'm out on the back dock the other day, and I'm puffing my vape, and the exec Sue comes out and stands there for a second and starts walking down the ramp. The exec comes out and starts walking towards the ramp, because I know where they're going. They're going out to somebody's car to smoke a blunt. I was like, and then I'm sitting there. I'm just the old white guy with Mexican roots. And I was like, oh, whoa. Who the hell said they could let all the black people go on break at once?
Oh my God.
Because they are the only two black people there. I was like, who the fuck said all the black people go on break at once? My chef is 23. Miles is awesome. He's great. He looks at me and he's like, I cannot take you right now, but you're not fucking wrong. So that's the environment I live in. So yeah. So I don't see a lot of shades of black and white. I just see a lot of gray.
I see people. I'm going to say this. I don't care. I don't care.
In the kitchen, we all average ordinary road niggas. That's all the way there is.
Basically.
Basically. Pretty much.
I'm going to say this. I don't care what side anybody sits on. I don't care what dude's motivation was. This is my thought process on this, whether I like it or I don't like it. And I think you two on the panel know where I sit on this. This basically cemented Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
It definitely didn't hurt his ass.
No, he was ahead in most of the polls, and now this.
I mean, he's looking like Superman.
Well,
he's right now.
He's
the minute he got up and he raised his fist, he became king shit of the penis people, and he is now.
Oh yeah, I mean, all the red hats lost their fucking mind.
Not only that, I've heard there are some of my Democrat friends who have been weary of how Veggie Joe has been performing in the last, to them, the last few weeks, to us, the last year and a half, as far as his mental acuity. Some of my Dem friends were texting me going, this is it. This just cemented Donald Trump as the next president of the United States. You can call him Tampon Don all you want, Ripple, and I get it. It did look like he had a big piece of always on his ear, and I'm going to agree with Herm on this one. If he'd have walked out there with the blood and the guts,
just a Band-Aid, something small, like it was very, very big.
Fuck it, just show the viscera.
It felt very. It just felt very for show. Like it wasn't just enough to like cover it, like fold something over, put some tape on it. Nice.
No, he came out with the big Band-Aid.
Again, understated. I got shot. This is more about, look, you can
that
see
would have been a huger statement. That's
kind of where I was. Then
have a little fucking curad.
The whole fucking Telfa pad taped to his ear like a fucking ear. I was like, what is this? The earmuff king? What the fuck?
I mean, if that's a doctor's recommendation, whatever. But if I'm Donald Trump, I'd be like, no, I'm the toughest, I'm the strongest, I'm the greatest.
That injury in the kitchen, and I'm finishing my fucking 8-hour shift.
I put my arm into the fucking pizza oven the other day. I'm still trying to. Yeah, I'm learning so much about kitchens, being a manager now.
That's the reason see all that shit on my arms, bro.
Okay, good point by Ripple. See, I'm thinking outside the box. Gabby Gifford took a headshot. You're right. Wow. Only Biden has shit himself, not Gabby Gifford. Let's work on that.
You know, but
yeah. Look, if there was a question before,
wasn't the 5.56 they say he was using on that?
No. And you can listen to certain. I know we're going long, but you can listen to certain people. Oh, it was God's grace. Look, God don't give a shit about any of us, and I am a Christian, so I'm going to say this: He loves us, but He doesn't give a shit about your outcome. He doesn't. They say, oh, at the moment the shots were fired, he turned and said, "Look at this," and at that moment the shooter decided to shoot. And if he had just stayed still, it'd have been out the front of his head and whatever. No matter what the motivation was, I honestly think, and my Democrat friends are right, and I'm going to give a shout out to, I'm trying to remember his last name because he's just a Facebook friend. He's someone I don't know in everyday life, like Michael Herman or Christopher Lynch or anybody like that. His first name is Tom. Was the first to message me and say, this just cemented Donald J. Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Because on one side, no offense to, Democrats, you have a guy who can barely string a sentence together. On the other side, you have a guy who is very divisive. And
I don't think that's a good thing, though.
No, it's not. As I've said in every post this weekend, doesn't matter. We're all fucked.
The cementation isn't what everybody thinks it is. It cemented him in, but unfortunately, that's the exact same voting concept as people who would vote. I'm not voting for him just because he's a Republican.
Yeah,
right.
Unfortunately, he's the president. Ladies and gentlemen, this unfortunately is a risk of his job. This does not make him a hero.
No, true.
This makes
absolutely.
It just makes him fucking lucky. And I would say the same thing for Joe. It doesn't make him a hero. It just makes him lucky.
Exactly.
This is one of the possible downfalls of your motherfucking job. And
you're
doing what you're doing to get the job.
If you're a politician,
a hero though. So anybody who's like, he's a hero and fucking he's in 50 Cent videos with Donnie J. I'm just saying, like,
I got you.
That night, the only real craziness I saw from on social media that night was from the right.
I saw it from both sides.
I did not see a lot from a lot of the friends that I had on the left. I saw concern for the violation of the office.
Yeah.
What I saw was
on the office, but I didn't see the bandwagon. It just, I don't know. It was like it was a rally. Like it was like he was a folk hero instantly, and that's just kind of scary.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw from some of my Democrat friends, and again, it's disgusting. It's a shame that he missed. It's like, really? This is a human being. I don't care if I hate you. I don't want to see anybody get shot and killed.
I do. I want to see.
No, and I have.
Well, you're a sick fuck.
I got really upset with seeing that over the last since from the event onward, and I got a little heated. I had to take a break.
I saw that. I was worried. I was worried you weren't going to be here tonight.
Well, other factors as well, but
understood.
It just you promote equality and diversity and inclusion, and in the same
tolerance. Breath, remember that word,
intolerance, and in the same breath, that your mentality is to say, "Too bad he missed."
Yeah.
Well, that just shows your true character. Now, the same can be said about people on the right.
Yes.
The same thing can be said. I'm not just picking on the left here. But to promote that and to be upset and disappointed that he's not dead is disgusting.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't wish hate on very many people, if anyone at all, or especially violence. Sorry, making somebody dead over a political view is not the way to work things out. You're kind of missing the point of politics, and you're kind of missing the point of the two-party system. America, it's broke, it's divided, and we're getting pushed further apart. And I agree with what you both said. In our lifetime, we're never going to see the country as united as we were at post 9/11 from about 2002, 2003.
Well, not unless you have not unless there's another extremely nationally unifying event.
Another 9/11 situation would
have some sort of attack on us, or
I'd like to think that maybe this event. I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it the way it's in my head.
No,
but it's not going to sound. It's going to sound shitty. I would like to think that this event would be.
No,
but it's not going to be. It's not going to be.
No, it's
this is what pushes us further apart.
This isn't an attack on all of us. It is, but it's different. This is an attack on the office, and not everybody understands that in general.
I agree.
This wasn't about who was shot at specifically, like who their actual identity was. For me, my issue is that this happened at the president of the United States, and it was a crime against the office. And that office is what makes us uniquely American.
Agree.
And the way that we handle
it's a complete disrespect to the level.
Right. And to be honest, you guys, I'm kind of sociopathic, so I don't really give a fuck who the person was that was shot at. I don't care if it was Donald Trump. I don't care if it was I
don't either.
Somebody's mom. It's about the office, not the personality of the person that holds it.
Right.
Crime.
I mean, my heart goes out. My heart hurts for that family who had to witness their father and husband get shot in the fucking
That's
head.
the hero, not Trump. He's the hero. Push his family down.
He took a bullet. He took a bullet.
Yeah,
he took a bullet and made the ultimate sacrifice.
You know, the other people that went to the hospital with gunshots.
I feel bad for them as well.
Absolutely, my
collateral damage
for all of them.
They all went home though, except for him.
Yep, him and the shooter.
Yeah, well, the shooter had pronouns there. Were.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Used to be and wish I could have been.
Heard.
Yeah.
What do we got? When's Mischief coming?
She's next week. I sent her a message and said, "Are you still down?" She said, "Let me check." That was a couple of days ago. She hasn't got back.
I know she's got a bunch of shit coming up.
She does. She's really fucking busy. So
I've got 30 one-star strip club reviews sitting upstairs. So if Mischief's next week, the week after that, we're stealing our gimmick back. One-star strip club reviews.
Right. We're taking it back.
All right. We could do other shit too.
We could. Top 10 lists. We could show our dicks on the
No. Other topics for one-star reviews.
Yeah, we could do like one-star restaurants.
We could take a little bit of our own shit back.
Okay, here's an idea.
We could do like a topic that I want to do. It'd be like one-star something with food. It'd be
okay. Each of you pick a topic. Come up with your 10 best. I'm sticking with strip clubs.
I'm just saying
I'll stick with movies.
We could rotate it now and then, and like, all right, we're doing 1 star, and so I would handle the show and the list. But yes, you see where I'm going?
We'll try it out. Let's give it a try out. 10.
1-star strip club reviews is always a hoot.
Of course, especially when you go to New Zealand.
Great.
I'd be interesting to hear some 1-star food reviews, be it restaurant or just the food in general.
I just love to find some shit for real.
Like you're traveling down a dark territory there, Lynch.
Turd.
Good night, everybody. God bless America, and thank you for being a part of our family.
Bless the USA.
Judgment falls upon you.
Near, far, near, far. You know, it's amazing he's not dead, considering how big his fucking head is.